So this chapter is saying that the wife shall his brother's wife shall go into the presence. So she should take her sandal off, or take his sandal off and spit in his face. Wow. I wonder why that is. Is it like a way of breaking a covenant, or? Because to us that's a form of disrespect, like to spit in somebody's face. It's like unheard of. But to them, it probably was a reason. I mean, I'm pretty sure there was a reason. It has to be a reason. Maybe that's a question I have for the Lord. Because maybe it's breaking that covenant. I don't know. And she shall answer and say, so shall it be done to the man who does not build up for his brother's house. And the name of his house shall be called Israel, the house of him who had his sandal pulled off. And I'm pretty sure the sandal being pulled off was a form of what? Like basically you don't have to marry her. Or like, I don't know, something along those lines. Alright, miscellaneous laws. 11. When men fight with one another and the wife of the one draws near to rescue her husband from the hand of him who is beating him, and puts out her hand and seizes him by the private parts, then you should cut off her hand. Oh wow. Yeah, I shall have no pity. Wow. So if a woman rescues her husband, right? Is that what it's saying? And grabs the other man by the penis. Okay, you should not have in your bag 2 kinds of weights, a large and a small. You should not have in your house 2 kinds of measures, a large and small. And a full, fair weight you shall have. A full and fair measure you shall have, that your days may be long in the land that the Lord your God is giving you. For all who do such thing, all who act dishonestly, are an abomination to the Lord your God. Remember what Amalek did to you on the way as you came out of Egypt, how he attacked you on the way when you were faint and weary, and cut off your tail. Those who were lagging behind you, he did not fear God. Therefore, when the Lord your God is giving you rest from all the enemies around you in the land that the Lord your God is giving you for an inheritance to possess, you should not blot out the memory of Amalek from under heaven. You should not forget. Offerings of first fruit tithes. Oh Lord, I'm gonna have to take a little breaky break. I got this. Oh, I need a little break. Oh. Alright, we got this. Offerings of first fruit tithes. When you come into the land the Lord your God is giving you for an inheritance, and have taken possession of it and live in it, you shall take some of the first fruit of the land, of all the fruit of the ground which you harvest from the land that the Lord your God is giving you. You shall put in your basket. You shall go to the place that the Lord your God will choose to make his name to dwell there. And you shall go to the priest who is in the office at that time, and to say to him, I declare today that the Lord your God, that I have come into the land that the Lord swore to our fathers to give us. Then the priest shall take the basket from your hand and set it down before the altar of the Lord your God. You shall make responsible for the Lord your God a wandering Aramean with your father. Excuse me. And he went down into Egypt to sojourn there, few in number, and there he became a nation, great and mighty and populous. And the Egyptians treated us harshly, humiliated us, and laid on his hard labor. Then we cried to the Lord, the God of the fathers, and the Lord heard our voice and saw our affliction, our toil, and our oppression. And the Lord brought us out of Egypt with a mighty hand and an outstretched arm, with great deeds of terror, with signs and wonders. And he brought us into the place and gave us the land, a land flowing with milk and honey. And behold, now I bring the first of the fruit out of the ground which you, O Lord, have given me. And you shall set it down before the Lord your God and worship before the Lord your God. You shall rejoice in all that the Lord your God has given to you and to your house. And you and the Levite and the sojourner was among you, when you have finished paying all the tithe of your produce in the 3rd year, which the year of the tithing, giving it to the Levite, the sojourner, the fatherless, and the widow, so that they may eat within your towns and be filled. Excuse me. Ye shall say before the Lord your God, I have removed the sacred portion out of my house, and moreover I have given it to the Levite, the sojourner, the fatherless, and the widow, according to all your commandment that you have commanded me. I have not transgressed any of your commandments, nor have I forgotten them. I have not eaten of the tithe while I was mourning, and removed any of it while I was unclean, and offered any of it to the dead. I have obeyed the voice of the Lord my God. I have done according to all that you commanded me. Look down from your holy habitation from heaven, and bless your people Israel, and ground that you have given us, as you swore to our fathers, a land flowing with milk and honey. This day the Lord your God commands you to do these statutes and rules. You shall therefore be careful to do them with all your heart and with all your soul. You have declared today that the Lord your God, that the Lord is your God, and that you will walk in his ways, and keep his statutes and his commandments and rules, and you will obey his voice. And the Lord has declared today that you are a people for his treasured possession, as he promised you, and that you are keeping, and you are to keep all his commandments, and that he will set you in praise and in fame and in high honor above all the nations that he has made, and you shall be a people to the Lord your God, as he promised. Chapter 27. This is the last chapter. Maybe I need a little water. Wake me up. Now Moses and the elders of Israel commanded the people, saying, keep the whole commandment that I command you today. And on the day you cross over the Jordan to the land that the Lord your God has given you, you shall set up the large stones and plaster them. Alright, first. Okay. You shall write them all. So keep. Hold on, y'all. So on the days that you cross over to the Jordan, the Lord your God has given you, shall set up large stones and plaster them with plaster, so that you shall write them all the words of this law when you cross over to enter into the land. So this is the first step. To write the Lord's commandments. Flow on milk and honey is the Lord your fathers. The Lord, the God of your fathers, has promised you. And when you have crossed over the Jordan, you shall set up these stones concerning which I have commanded you today on Mount Ebal, Ebal, and you shall plaster them with a plaster. There you shall build an altar to the Lord your God, on an altar of stones. You shall yield no iron tool on them. You shall build an altar to the Lord your God of uncut stones. You shall offer burnt offerings on it to the Lord your God. You shall sacrifice peace offerings. You shall eat there, and you shall rejoice before the Lord your God. You shall write on the stones all the words of this law very plainly. Curses from Mount Ebal. Then Moses and the Levitical priests said to all Israel, keep silence and hear, O Israel. This day you have become the people of the Lord your God. Therefore, obey the voice of the Lord your God. Keep his commandments and his statutes, which I command you today. Then Moses charged the people, saying, when you cross over to the Jordan, these shall stand on Mount Gerizim to bless the people: Simeon, Levi, Judah, Issachar, Joseph, and Benjamin. All these shall stand on Mount Ebal for the curse. Reuben, Reuben, Gad, Asher, Zebulun, Dan, and Naphtali. And the Levites shall declare to all the people of Israel in a loud voice, cursed be the man who makes a carved or cast metal image, an abomination to the Lord your God, a thing made by hands of a craftsman, and set it up in secret. All the people shall answer and say, Amen. Cursed be any man. So, carved image, so curses. So if you make a carved image of the Lord your God, if you make a carved image, it's an abomination, because the Lord already knows they're going to try to worship it. Cursed be anyone who dishonors his father and his mother. All the people say amen. So if you dishonor